Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stubbornly Refused series, the exercise series I've been running through. Today we have exercise 13. If you haven't watched the other ones, please go and check those out. Thank you for the support. If you're struggling to break down your beliefs or come up with a good game plan when it comes to OCD and anxiety recovery, please reach out to Phil at OCDrecovery.com and we will get you in a timely fashion and help you as quickly and swiftly as we can. And we work all over the world with different time zones. So, exercise 13. Think of something you are irrationally afraid of doing, such as speaking poorly in public, social anxiety. What's the big stat that everyone talks about? Public speaking is the biggest fear over death, which is funny. Writing an inadequate essay or report. Drawing badly, being rejected by someone you care for. That can go into all the things such as harm, POCD, anything where there's a taboo or sexual related thought. Breaking into an ongoing conversation, not wanting to be rude, etc. Dancing in public, shame, attacking exercises. Talking to strangers, relationship OCD, getting out there, not isolating yourself. Taking a difficult course, pushing yourself, building higher frustration tolerance, playing a game badly, trying new things. Force yourself to do one of the things that you most fear and try to do it in many times in rapid succession. Once you decide to do it, don't hesitate or cop out. Do it and do it and do it. While you're doing this fearful thing, show yourself that it is not as fearful as you thought. This is super important. So one of the number one problems in life is constantly, so take this for an example, right? You sit down, you watch a bunch of these big podcast series on business, all this stuff. You don't have to watch any of that. It's not that it's bad information for the most part. A lot of it is great, but it's a sliver like this much of all the businessmen and women in the world that won't even do interviews because they think, I'm too busy working. I don't want to do a 2-hour podcast talking about what I think, because if you ask 100 people, sure, there's going to be carryover and crossover and things they recommend, but I've heard, take real estate for an example. You can listen to someone who's worth $1 billion in real estate say, you don't need any money to start real estate. Then you listen to another person that says you need a lot of capital to do it. So you can make anything really work in a sense if you have good consistency and luck and timing, etc. It's not just hard work. That's only a piece of it. So again, analysis paralysis stops most people from doing many things. Take this for an example. I had 4 one-to-ones. I have another 4 one-to-ones after this, and I have a bunch of other appointments later today in my other business. A lot of times on Thursdays, specifically Thursdays, which tend to be my longest day of the week because I don't go to the gym, so I start working directly at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I work pretty late. I don't always want to do a YouTube video, but I've trained myself. I have it written right here. YouTube video always comes first because it's the easiest thing for me to procrastinate on long days. I don't think about it. I just turn the camera on and start right away. That's what I did. I had a one-to-one. I just watched something on YouTube and then boom, I started it right away. Okay? And then I'm going to combine this with RBT 13A. So you may not see that you irrationally fear or are anxious about acts, but see yourself instead as being ashamed, embarrassed, humiliated, etc. Public speaking, social anxiety fears. Thus, you may not see yourself as being afraid to wear an unstylish dress or a jacket or telling someone about one of your weaknesses, but you may never do these things because you feel shameful, embarrassing, humiliating. Remember, most people don't say, I think I'm humiliated. They say, I don't like feeling the way it makes you feel internally inside of your body, your experience with those sensations. So the RBT Principles considers feelings of shame or humiliation illegitimate because they almost always include a rational element. I did some people wrong, or I did some people in, but then they also include the irrational statement, therefore I am a rotten, stupid person. So remember, there's no such thing as evil. More than likely, there's no such thing as good and bad people. We have the bad deeds theory when it comes to crimes. More than likely doesn't exist. There's genetics, luck, timing, environment, when you live, the cultural dogmas of where you live. Do you act against those things, etc., etc.? But to say that someone is evil or a bad person, we throw that out. I mean, you have to think about someone who's committed something horrendous. that means everything they've done will be bad. But that's not true. Take the BTK killer for an example, the blind torture killer. He was a pastor. He probably did help people in the Christian church. I believe it was Christianity. I'm not a theology expert, as I say. He also had a family. So he could have been a great father, a good husband, but he also did horrendous acts. That's why he was called the BTK killer. So not every act he did was bad. He just did certain acts that were really bad, but he can't be an evil person. That's not how it works. This is the reality. RBT is the closest thing to the brutal realities of life that you could come up with, in my opinion. So to combat this, the irrational element of shame, I created in 1960s my famous shame attacking exercises, which we go over all the time, okay? To help you act against your irrational beliefs and disturbed feelings, you can benefit from doing some of these shame attacking exercises, and to do so, you select something that you personally feel is shameful or embarrassing to do in public, such as dress inappropriately, say something silly, yell out signs in the train or a bus stop. You don't have to do anything that's going to put you in harm's way, but I usually give people shame attacking exercises that last a month. I say, look, do 1 or 2 every day for a month. It can't be sporadically, because if you do it sporadically, it's too easy to take the mindset of I'm going to do this and get past this, then not be bothered by that anymore, and that becomes a problem in of itself. You have to be careful with that, okay? When you do this act you consider silly or shameful, make sure that first you do not get into any real trouble, etc. For example, don't expose yourself publicly and risk getting arrested. Don't tell your boss that she is a worm and therefore getting the risk of being fired. Don't do anything that would harm anyone else, such as slapping someone in the face, etc. Okay? And then after you do your shame attacking exercises, then you can come home during your disputing time. Remember, you don't want to I can dispute in the moment. This is a good learning lesson. I can dispute whenever, wherever, how much as I want, because the chances of it becoming compulsive are very low, because I'm not looking at those things to change the way I feel in the moment. You cannot. This is a very important lesson. Most of you, 0, 6, 12 months in, once you read all the books, get some practice in, you probably want to go 8 p.m. at night, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days a week. Do it then. The rest of the day, I'm building habits, cutting compulsions, so you're not trying to get it to go away in the moment. Okay? So this is something, after you do a shame attacking exercises, this is what the belief would look like. So people think I'm stupid or foolish. Too bad. Let them think that. Actually, by doing this shameful act, I'm helping myself overcome my self-doubting, which is great. What I am doing may be foolish, but that doesn't make me a fool. I am sorry that people think I am wrong for doing these things, but this is only a disadvantage and is hardly the end of the world. Remember, in today's world, we're in a very weird time. It's always been like this, but take the political perspective, right? People are so afraid of looking stupid in front of their political party or other people, or being downed or outright outcasted in their society. So we live in a time where if someone does something that we don't agree with, we go, that person's an evil, loser, moron. But that's not really what's happening. That person has value just for being alive. And when we don't move towards unconditional self-life, other acceptance, there's a lot of problems. And it's always going to be this way to some degree, because most people are not willing to apply these principles because they don't want to let go of the illusion of power by yelling at people, etc. So it is important to talk about. Thank you again, Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Please reach out. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.